I guess let's just start at the beginning. How you got started into drumming, period, and we all have our inspirations. I know personally why I got into music because of certain people. But, who
Sure.
got you into drumming? Who's that guy that you saw were I want to do that?
Right. I started getting really interested in drums 12, 13. So it wasn't any metal sort of stuff. It was stuff like Smashing Pumpkins. I don't know. When I was into 12 or 11. So actually, in saying that, Jimmy Chamberlain, the drummer for Smashing Pumpkins at the time, was a huge influence for getting me thinking about playing drums. But as soon as I hit high school, that's when I started getting into metal. And just basically in that first year or so, my taste kind of went from your Machine Head, Pantera kind of stuff, and then straight away after that I heard Cryptopsy and Nile, and sort of that's the kind of it was really quite a big jump,
Just a little.
yeah, but those are the kind of that's the kind of the starting point, I guess. Yeah.
Those are some strong drum styles to bounce off of too. You got Flo from Cryptopsy and George from Nile that are drum titans.
Actually, at that time, that was 98, 97. So the drummer for Nile was Pete Hemorrhow.
Oh, that's right.
He's on Nifrin Kai and the earlier stuff. So those dudes, really blew my mind at that point. I just hadn't heard anything that ever even remotely what was going on. I couldn't even fathom really what was going on with the music. It was just... I remember hearing stuff like the Dillinger Escape Plan as well, and just being I just couldn't figure it out at that time. So.
Right on. Well, others might follow up, which was bands you listened to growing up, but...
Sure. As I said, so I guess... so I started getting interested in music at around 11 or 12, and it was just kind of radio rock or sort of pseudo heavy stuff like Smashing Pumpkins or whatever. Maybe bands like Tool, shit like that. And then straight from there was, I guess, straight into I think Machine Head, Pantera. I remember really early on, it was pretty weird, but I ended up buying a Bolt Thrower album, Mercenary. It was one of the earliest albums I bought. I just saw it in the record store, and I had a really quick jump straight into death metal, and that sort of, as soon as I did that, it was kind of no looking back, just the heavier and the more extreme, the better sort of thing. So my whole pretty much the only thing I ever listened to at high school was death metal, a little bit of black metal and grind. And it was quite narrow,
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't. Once I started getting a little bit kind of better at drums, I started paying attention to not pop stuff, but I don't know, shit like Dave Matthews Band or stuff like that. And just because from a drumming perspective, I had my mind blown. I was
mm-hmm.
I just didn't even get. It's not or even jazz fusion stuff, and then getting introduced to Dave Weckl and Dennis Chambers and all that sort of stuff. So that's kind of the arc of early listening anyway.
All right. Well, I guess following that, how did you come into Ulcerate where you're at now? Kind of the preface into that. I'd imagine you had plenty of bands beforehand that you were in leading up to.
A few, not too many. Me, the guitarist, and myself, guitarist Mike. We went to high school together. So even from 14, we were jamming. We certainly weren't playing what we're playing now, but we were fucking around, So we always were writing music. Very poor music, but we were always writing music. And it kind of by the time it got to our last year of high school, that's kind of when we decided to sort of start what we're doing now. Again, it's very primitive, but that's sort of when we decided, okay, there's a style of death metal that we want to start pursuing. And we'd kind of, by that point, could actually play some of the stuff. So, I played in when I was 15, I got asked to play in a metalcore band. So I did that for a couple of years. But aside from that, not too much else.
Ah, okay. I feel like it might just be me, but metalcore is just where a lot of people start musically. Or, I don't know, that's where I started. But
Metal for me, metalcore was like a bit of a foreign concept. Like I didn't really understand the scene because, as I said, like my introduction to metal skipped everything. I went kind of to the extreme end of the spectrum. So metalcore to me seemed, or just the hardcore scene in general. So it took me a few years to kind of figure out where everyone was coming from because it seemed. Yeah. It's like an introduction to heavy music almost. It's almost. I mean, these days it's like new metal of heavy music, right? So, but broadly speaking, but yeah. So that didn't last too long. But anyway.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, aside from listening to death metal, what other kind of stuff do you listen to in like your free time? Unless there's no breaks.
I listen to lots of stuff, man. Anything goes, pretty much. I mean, I listen to a ton of So it's the majority of what I listen to is Death and Black. But outside of that, I mean, I'm into stuff like Ulver and Zero Rose. There's a band over here called J-Cube that I really dig. I love stuff. One of my favorite bands is Clutch. Okay. I'm into a lot of. There's a lot of kind of like jazz and jazz fusion stuff that I'm into, but more so from a drumming perspective, you know. Mm-hmm. But the stuff that really gets me going is typically quite dark sounding and brooding, and I guess that's just from having grown up with endless listening to death really or black metal as well. So
that is fair. Yeah, it makes sense. Well, being a full-time musician, I know is kind of expensive, so. Aside from doing that full time, do you have any side gigs to finance everything? Or help?
Yeah, we all work careers. So I'm a front end web designer. So I straight out of high school I went and did a Bachelor of Media Arts degree. So that's kind of my career. The other guys, Paul actually works he works in banking, and Mike's actually just studying. He's just finishing up a double degree. And it's like environmental ethics and stuff. So it's the band makes us absolutely zero money. So it's we fund it through careers. Yeah.
Hopefully, working up into starting to make money at some point.
It's become these days it's a little bit it's starting to break even a lot more, which is awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
We live so far away. Mm-hmm. And just going out and touring and stuff, it's just expensive, So
yeah, definitely. Well, speaking of, how's the metal scene down in New Zealand? Like, were they very receptive of what you guys were trying to do? Was there much?
Yeah. We've been a part of the scene and stuff over here for it's like 13 years now. So everyone, it's small, so everyone knows everyone, and it's. If I don't know the kind of stuff that maybe the success that we're having now, it's much different for people over here because we've grown up with them, Mm-hmm. So, but everyone's pumped, man. It's cool, and it's kind of like our scene. I think like any scene just goes through waves of. There's always at one point there'll be like really strong set of bands and a bunch of bands will break up and blah blah blah. So it's at the moment it feels like it's on a bit of a rise. So.
That's good. Yeah. Well, what are your guys' future touring plans? If I'd imagine following.
Yeah, sure. Well, we're heading to Australia next week, just for 3 shows, and then in May we're coming over to do NDF. In the States, and around that we're going to do all of May. We're going to do North America, so we're going to do East, West Coast states, and we're going to go up to East Coast Canada. So those dates are they're all kind of up in the air at the moment, but they're being booked. So, and then after that we're doing Hellfest in France in June, and then after that we're going to go back to Europe and do a full European thing in November at this stage. So, and there'll probably be some Australasian stuff sprinkled in amongst there. We always do New Zealand and Australia. Mm-hmm. We do it every year. So, and I don't know. We're kind of looking at Asia as an option as well. So, we'll see. Yeah.
So you got a very busy year ahead of you.
Yeah, it should be good.
Yeah, definitely. Well, then, with that in mind, what are your favorite bands that you've either toured or at least played a show with?
Sure. man, we did a whole bunch of touring last year with Songwriting from France, who are really good friends of ours now, and fucking amazing band. We played some shows in the States with Tombs.
Okay.
Yeah, fucking awesome. And we've done a lot of like support acts, support slots for like bands like Nile. We toured all through Europe with Nile, Christian, and Grave. It was awesome. We supported Behemoth over here. Who else? Like Cephalic Carnage. It's a lot of cool bands, man, for sure.
Definitely. Well, then, what would be some bands that you'd want to tour with potentially at some point, with given this very large tour schedule that you have coming up? Some bands that
right. Well, we've been trying to hook it up for a little while, but we've always wanted to do some shows with Mitochondrium from Canada. And we know the guys, so it's just trying to get the schedules matched up and everything. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm in touch with Luke from Gorguts, and he's always trying to get us on stuff. But that would be awesome. But it's just it's just scheduling and trying to make stuff happen. We'd love to tour the Malaysian, kind of bands that we take that have been big influences, Yeah, for sure.
Jeez, Gorguts would be an awesome show.
Yeah, for sure.
Just do it.
It's kind of annoying because we the Gorguts is touring. I think they might be touring
Origin
now or really really soon.
Yeah, with
with Origin and Nera Damat. And we were on that tour, and we pulled off just at the last minute. It was just a little bit unfeasible with costs and everything, and time frame and all that sort of stuff. So
that's good because it was nowhere near me. So
right. Yeah. I'm sure we'll hook up something at some point. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, that would. Ooh, if you guys were on that bill, I'd probably have to go to that show.
Right.
It was already tempting enough, but that would have been nail in the coffin.
Right.
Given your guys' tour experience, there has to be some crazy stories that have come out of that.
Crazy stories?
Just things people have done, like, I don't know, fans being weird or awesome.
Right. To be honest, man, we don't actually have that many crazy stories, and all the fans that we've met have been surprisingly normal. So, I can't. At least I can't think of anything anyway.
That's good.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's probably for the better at the moment, anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
From what I've heard, things can get kind of out of hand. So.
On tour, or?
Yeah. Just with people in general. Yeah. They're just, I don't know. Gotta watch out for them. Especially the fans, I guess. Some of them aren't always mentally stable. But that goes for anybody.
I get a lot of the... There's a lot of drummers who are quite intense to talk to, and who kind of like they want to dissect your playing, and they'll come and just stand by the side of the stage and watch the whole show, and then sort of. So I get a lot of that stuff, which is it's cool. It's cool to a point, and I love discussing drums and everything, but you get a little bit of the kind of one-upping stuff where it's like, I see that you do this. I actually do it this way. It's a whole lot better, blah blah blah.
My kit's bigger than yours.
Yeah, a little bit of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. Well, given your music career, if you could do things over again in any regard, what would you change, if anything?
I'm pretty happy, man. I think that the route that we've taken is really... It kind of hasn't... We've never really planned any of this stuff. It's just always been just write and play music that we want to play for the fun of it. And I don't know, it just sort of... It just blows me away that still people all around the planet that want to check our stuff out. So, to be honest, it's awesome. I really have no regrets with the path that we've taken anyway.
That's always good. Well, I noticed the pretty wicked sleeves you got going on with the tattoos. Any particular?
Right. Sure.
Any particular meaning with those, or just like reasoning behind them, or
it's sort of. It's mostly aesthetic, but the like my right arm, it's hard to see, and
yeah,
it's pretty much just colored in, but like the it's like kind of it's like 2 or 3 arrows kind of all inside themselves.
Okay.
And my right arm is a little bit sparse, but this is basically like a descending spiral.
Okay.
But again, like spirals kind of speak for themselves. I mean, like helix and stuff. The arrow stuff. I don't know. There wasn't. I don't know. Idea of ascension, I guess, but it's mostly aesthetic, you know. Just yeah.
You like it? It's on you. It's your tattoo, your body, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, I designed it all and stuff, so it's
As long as you're happy with them, that's all that really matters.
Yeah, sure.
Well, what would, among all the tour dates that you have played, I guess, we'll just keep harping on the touring.
Sure.
What was your favorite country to play, or favorite place, or specific show?
Sure. We had a really fucking good show in New York, which was probably, I mean, all of us were kind of like that. It was really, really good. It was just all the conditions were perfect, and the crowd was great, and everything was awesome. Montreal in Canada was really, really good. The kind of the crowd response that we had at MDF, we played there last year, was amazing. The conditions are always kind of weird at festivals. It's always rushed and everything, but the crowd response is fucking amazing. I don't know. We played Edinburgh in Scotland.
Oh, okay.
Which is great. A lot of the Italian. We've done a few shows in Italy over the years, and it's always awesome. Denmark, it's cool. Copenhagen. Man. Every single city we've ever played in Poland is fucking mental.
So Poland in general is just mental, and then everybody else is sparsely awesome. But Poland is just...
The Polish shows are crazy, man. Like, it's just a different level of enthusiasm altogether. So
that's pretty awesome. I mean, props to Poland.
For sure, man. For sure.
Well, then, any cities that you have yet to play but are definitely like on the map that are like circled on the map that have to play at some point?
Yeah, the biggest thing that screams out for us is West Coast, US, right? I mean, not that we're not veterans of touring the US. We've only been there once last year, but it just sucks to go to such a big country and have to miss out, you know, a pretty critical part of the country. The US in general. I mean, it's such a huge region to try and cover. And it's the same with Europe, man. Like, we've yet to actually hit Scandinavia and like Greece, just because it's just such a massive area, you know. And it's like, just anywhere that's kind of slightly out of the way, it's just totally expensive to try and hit, you know. So basically, just the out of the way, the more out of the way places are definitely on the cards for sure.
A lot of the U.S. tours like to go up up one coast, all the way up like the north or very south end, and then up the other coast, and kind of completely miss the Midwest. Yeah,
that's our plan. Unfortunately, that's our plan for the next. It's just the most feasible.
Yeah.
When you don't, it's just such a costly venture, you know. So for us, we're not a band that tours a lot. So when we do it, we just have to kind of do it as baby steps, you know.
Yeah.
So see how it goes, you know.
Definitely, and it's kind of conveniently enough, I happen to be right in the Midwest, so.
Right. Yeah. Like, well, hey, we live in New Zealand, so we get zero fans.
That's
pretty
fair.
much. So I feel your pain.
Well, I think that about sums it up for me. Totally appreciate you sitting down and taking the time to chat with me.
Man, no worries.
It's been a pleasure.
Much thanks for the support, for sure.